Oh, Uncle John, how good of you to come all this way.
Please, Thomas, it's nothing. Sit down. Sit down. Now then, so you're writing a book about the history of New York.
Yes, a comprehensive account of the history of the island of New York. I was hoping that you, as a resident of many years, could perhaps recall a particular moment in the history of the city to invigorate this work.
Oh, yeah. I may have a tale for you. You do know it wasn't always an island.
I beg your pardon?
Manhattan wasn't an island originally. It used to be attached to the Bronx, up there, at Kingsbridge.
Incredible. How did it become detached?
Oh, it all began in the Center Market in 1823, or maybe 24.
Loja. I say Loja. Everything okay?
Hardly, my good man. Well then, what's the issue? Gentlemen, we find ourselves faced with catastrophe here today.
Catastrophe?
How so? Please. Loja.
What's happening?
Loja says we are facing a catastrophe.
Oh, my.
Imminent peril. Don't tell me you haven't noticed it. Look about yourselves. We're building upwards and outwards with great veracity, no regard for the repercussions. And we do so to accommodate the immigrants who are unloaded from the docks daily in quantities greater than goods and supplies. Between all these new constructions and new lives, New York is digging itself into a watery grave.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
The newfound weight on the southern end of our city is creating an imbalance. As we continue to build the battery ever higher, the weight becomes greater, causing the entirety of Manhattan to sink into the sea.
But what are we to do?
If it will assuage your fears, I, personally, have been conferring with the mayor on the matter, and to deal with this vulnerability, have concocted an equally tremendous undertaking. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose we sever our fair city from the mainland here at Kingsbridge. Using the resources of every resident of the city of New York, we will pull our home loose from its bearings. We will row the new island out into the harbor, navigate it around, and then reattach it so the overladen battery rests supported at the Bronx. It's brilliant.
It's monumental.
It's fake.
How so?
It's a ruse, a hoax. You can't sail an island, and why would the mayor choose you to do this? You're just an old ship carpenter.
Who better than I to design and navigate a vessel of such tremendous size?
Yeah, but you say you're moving the island. There's no room for it. Brooklyn's blocking the path.
We will also be pulling Long Island off its mooring and out into the sea.
No. None of this makes sense.
Never mind that. Will there be jobs?
There will be employment for hundreds of hard-working men and women.
The news of the endeavor spread through the city, reaching the lowliest scoundrels and the wealthiest socialites. The plan meant salvation to the fearful, jobs to the unemployed, commerce for the shop owners, and entertainment to everyone else. Naysayers were few and far between. After the opening of the Erie Canal a few years prior, the extraordinary truly seemed possible.
My good people, if you wouldn't mind forming a line here, I can begin taking names for the numerous and well-paying jobs. What position are you applying for? What positions are available? The city will be employing smithies to be responsible for construction of the saws, which need to be no smaller than 100 feet long, the 250-foot sweeps to row the island with, and the 1,000-ton anchor, as we don't want our city floating out to sea now, do we? I'll need able-bodied men to saw away at the land of Kingsbridge where the city attaches to the Bronx. It's difficult work, but you'll be paid well. The pitmen will have the most important job of all. You will swim under the landmass to saw upwards, working to disconnect our fair city from its geographic bounds. But of course, we can only use the most hearty of men, so you must be capable of holding your breath for hours upon end.
Mr. Lozier, sir, I see much commotion and talk of the plan, but when does it all unfold? When do we saw off the island?
All in due time, my dear.
Sir, I need prospective dates to finish the anchor.
The day will come soon. Don't trouble yourself with it.
But what if the island sinks before we act?
All right. May the 1st. We shall act on May the 1st, which, I remind you, is still many moons away.
The city folk gathered at the market on the morning of the planned day, prepared to make the march up the Kingsbridge.
Uncle John! Please, be serious. This is a non-fiction account.
Fine. That's fine. Far be it from me to tell the story as I understood it. The actual event unfolded like so. The city folk gathered at the market on the morning of the planned day and waited patiently. Noon became afternoon, and patience wore thin.
Where is Lozier? When will we march?
Wake up! He's fooled the lot of you!
By dusk, the truth became inevitable. Lozier was not going to show.
When I catch Lozier here again, I'll saw him in half.
Lozier was never heard from again. He simply disappeared, without taking a cent, without stealing a pound of goods or one-man services. The only thing he made off with was hours and hours of the good people's time.
absolutely incredible. But then, how did Manhattan become an island?
Oh, I have no idea.
But why go through such an elaborate story if there's no purpose behind it?
I thought it was a good story.